Is it possible for a woman to see her periods monthly, normally, and yet at the same time fail to get pregnant? Is it possible for a woman to see her periods monthly, regularly, and yet at the same time fail to get pregnant? Can a woman see her periods normally, and at the same time can this woman have issues with her fertility? Can she have issues with getting pregnant, the ability to get pregnant easily? In this video, I'm going to answer this question. I'm called Gerard Massa and I'm a fertility coach. I can answer all your questions about fertility. She sees her periods normally, monthly, but she is not getting pregnant. Why is this so? Why is it that she actually cannot get pregnant despite seeing her periods normally? We shall begin with the menstrual cycle. The menstrual cycle is actually divided into phases. The menstrual cycle is how your periods flow, and then it is actually those days that are in between from the time you saw your periods up to the next day when you see your periods. We call this the menstrual cycle length. So if a woman is seeing her periods normally, there's going to be two phases that are going to be involved. There are these first 2 weeks of your menstrual cycle. We call this the follicular phase of your menstrual cycle. This is the time when the eggs are growing. From the first stage, we call this the primary stage, to the second stage, we call this the secondary stage. And then, of course, there's going to be that mature egg that will be released. That mature egg that is released during the time of ovulation, we call this the Graafian egg or the Graafian follicle. It is normally released during your ovulation time. If fertilization takes place, if this mature egg gets fertilized, then the next 2 weeks, there's going to be changes that will take place along the inside of a woman's womb. These changes are basically due to hormonal changes taking place. There are two hormones that are going to bring about these changes. The first hormone is what we call estrogen hormone. And then the next hormone involved in this process is what we call progesterone hormone. So basically, there's going to be changes between two hormones, estrogen and progesterone. What are these changes that are going to happen? Estrogen is going to rise and then progesterone is going to rise. Remember, these are steroid hormones. These are hormones that actually prepare the inside of your womb for the incoming fertilized egg. A woman could have normal periods. Normal periods means that when she reaches her ovulation time, maybe fertilization does not take place. The next 2 weeks, we call this the luteal phase. The hormones estrogen and progesterone will rise, expecting or anticipating a pregnancy to come or a fertilized egg to come. If there was no fertilization, estrogen and progesterone are going to drop, and then there's going to be shedding of the inside of your womb, shedding of the endometrium. This process of shedding of the inside of your womb as a woman is what we call your periods. So whenever you see your periods, just know that pregnancy did not happen. So the inside of the womb is actually getting washed out, is getting eroded, is getting actually washed out. In this particular question, she said that her periods are very normal, but she is not getting pregnant. Is it possible for a woman with normal periods to actually have difficulties in getting pregnant? And the answer is yes. It is very, very possible for a woman to see her periods normally, monthly, but at the same time have difficulties in getting pregnant. You could actually ask yourself and say, how is this possible? How can a woman see her periods normally and at the same time fail to get pregnant? The answer is here. For pregnancy to happen, the standards are, for pregnancy to happen, both the side of your husband, the side of the man has to be good, and then the side of the woman has to be good. I'll begin with the side of the man. When we take a closer look at the reproductive system of a man, it is made up of several parts. In this particular case, I will stick to the point. There's this part which is actually known as the testicular part or the testicles. The testicles or the testis, these two balls, the balls of a man, specifically that's where the whole process of sperm production takes place. Let's go deeper. Inside the testis of a man, there are two cells, specialized cells that are found inside the testis. These two cells are, number one, Leydig cells, and then number two, Sertoli cells. The Sertoli cells and the Leydig cells are actually special cells inside the testis of a man, and these two specialized cells play a very important part in the whole process of sperm production. We call this spermatogenesis. So the Sertoli cells and the Leydig cells are actually going to bring about the release of a hormone known as testosterone. Testosterone is responsible for many functions on the part of a man. Testosterone hormone is actually a hormone that is responsible for bringing about the maleness in a man. Basically, the ability of a man to have that male structure, the body build, okay? The ability of a man to have a deep voice. The ability of a man to actually have enough sperm counts. The ability of a man to actually have good libido. The ability of a man to maintain an erection for some good time. The ability of a man to actually have lots of hair on his body. These are all brought about by a hormone known as testosterone. And specifically talking about testosterone, under the activity of a specialized enzyme known as 5-alpha reductase is converted into its relative. We call this dihydrotestosterone. So testosterone and dihydrotestosterone, these are basically, they're like relatives, they support each other. But remember, if one of these hormones, specifically dihydrotestosterone, under the effects of this enzyme 5-alpha reductase, if dihydrotestosterone is actually a lot, if it is too much and it's not regulated, it's not controlled, it can go and attack some special structures in a man's system. Specifically, it could bring about that uncontrolled enlargement of the prostate gland, leading to what we call prostate hyperplasia or benign prostate hyperplasia, the swelling of the prostate gland. But remember, this can always be managed by your doctor. If you are a man and you are watching this video, you've been that your prostate is very big. One of the reasons as to why your prostate could actually be enlarged could be connected with this specific hormone known as testosterone. We shall not overspend lots of time on testosterone. Let's go back to the question. The question was about why she sees her periods normally, but she is not getting pregnant. And I was saying that she could actually be very normal. Her periods could be normal. Her tubes could be clean. They could be healthy. Her uterus could be healthy. But the issue could actually be with the man. And I was saying that inside the testes of a man, there are two special cells, Sertoli and Leydig. These special cells deal with sperm production. So if a man has repeat infections, UTIs, urine tract infections, sexually transmitted infections, gonorrhea, syphilis, and these are not managed promptly, then these infections could go through the urethra, that is the inside tube. That tube that is found inside the man's organ, that tube that is responsible for passing out or releasing urine, and then of course the male germ cells, we call these the sperms. So these infections could actually go through that tube, and then they could go and attack the prostate gland. Remember, the prostate plays a very big part. In the next video, I will talk more about the prostate gland. These infections, not treated, could actually travel to another part known as the ejaculatory duct. These infections will move on to another part known as the seminal vesicle. These are all parts of a man's system, reproductive system. And then these infections could actually attack another part known as the bulbourethral duct. And lastly, they could move downwards through a special tube known as the vas deferens. And lastly, they could actually attack the Sertoli and the Leydig cells where sperms are produced. So it could actually be that the woman is healthy, but the man has issues. Next reason as to why she could actually be trying to get pregnant, her periods are normal but she's not getting pregnant,